morning, Singapore, and welcome to the big show. And today we welcome everyone's favorite lady. She is from the therapy room. Her name is Jerry. But you guys have to call her Doctor, okay? Dr. Geraldine Tan. Good morning.
Good morning. Did I ever tell you that DR just stands for duties and responsibilities?
No, you didn't.
So it doesn't make it better. So you call me anything. You call me Jerry. You call me Dr. Jerry. You call me Auntie Jerry. That which the kids do.
Oh, okay.
The kids do that. The kids do that. And then when I'm lecturing, and I tell them the kids do that, then all the adult learners call me Auntie Jerry, which is very annoying.
So now we're going to call you Auntie Jerry.
You know that,
Oh,
right?
yeah, me. But somebody has turned more uncle today.
He has,
and I've been bugged, and say, must remember. So today we have to sing a birthday song today.
I thought they did that already at 6 a.m.
But Dr. Jerry hasn't done it.
Yes. But I cannot sing Forgotten last year. So
Okay, like you guys accompany her.
One, two, three. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Glenn.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
And I just want to say happy birthday to everyone else who's celebrating their birthdays today.
On the 22nd of June. Yes, happy
May
birthday.
all your wishes and dreams come true. As a matter of fact, I have a good friend, Roger, who might be tuned in right now. We share the same birthday.
Happy birthday, Roger.
Happy birthday, Roger.
Your birthday and my mother's birthday is the same.
Oh!
And Meryl Streep
Happy
also.
birthday, Auntie.
Meryl Streep celebrates the same day with you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Meryl
Yes,
Streep as
yeah.
well. Huh?
Yeah.
And the Bionic Woman.
Lindsay Wagner.
There you go. Lots of special people. All right, speaking of special, Dr. Jerry, today, Therapy Tuesday, we're talking about stress in school, the fundamentals. Tell us more.
Yes. I thought I want to go back to the fundamentals because next week the children are going back to school.
Hey.
And there's this collective groan,
Rejoice.
right?
No.
Some parents are like, oh my gosh, because remember that the lower sec and the lower primary children are still doing
1 week.
Yeah, no. 3 days
3 days.
HBL, staggered. And then the rest are going back to school. But school has always been a source of stress. So I thought, let's talk about it. Yes. So I actually want to ask each one of you, what do you think, or rather, what is school for each one of you?
What did school mean for each one of us?
Yes.
Like how far back though?
What did it mean, or what does it mean now?
What did it mean then?
What did it mean then?
One
That,
word.
you know.
Enrichment. For me, it was enrichment.
Really?
Yeah, because everything, to me, I learned to socialize in school. I learned to be independent.
But you're thinking back of what you
Yeah,
learned.
that's what she said,
No,
right?
but at that time.
No, at
What
that
did it
time.
mean to you
At that
at the
time.
time?
I don't remember what I was thinking back then. I was in primary 1. I'm going all the way back to my first day in school.
Yes, get on the couch.
Yeah.
Wow. For me, school, I have to admit, was friends first, academics second. It was always about the friends. It was about the community that we built more than the academics. The academics just seemed to come into it, but it was never the main
Okay,
thing.
if it's going all the way back then, I'll say pain in the ass. How about that? Pain in the ass, because every time my alarm went off in the morning, I would feel sick.
Oh my gosh! Oh no, we all have that.
Oh
We
my
all have
God.
that.
don't wanna go to
It was like,
school
today.
why?
Stomach hurt.
Did you ever use that as an excuse?
Of course you
I'm
did.
sure.
I remember the story my father told me once. I came in, I was crawling. I crawled into my parents' bedroom and I said, I've got this terrible headache. I cannot go to school. I've got the most horrendous headache. And I was holding my knee.
Yeah. The drama club feel.
That was from crawling.
Yeah, I was in primary 2, I remember. And I was holding my knee, screaming that I had a terrible headache.
But it's awful, right, Jerry? I think for a lot of kids, waking up that early in the morning is stressful.
Yeah. I think for me, it was, back then, it was a must do. There was just no choice. School was you have to go to school, otherwise you will fail in life.
And the night before, you start feeling ill already.
Yeah, it's-
Thinking about waking up the next day.
Oh my goodness, I didn't get my homework done.
You didn't have a dog that ate your
No,
homework?
I did, but she was such a good dog. I couldn't blame it on her.
So, what? Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah, mine was just fun. I enjoyed myself.
Okay.
Yeah, do nothing, play every day only. Never study.
Okay. And then now for the parents in you, if you look at school, what do you think it is? Or what does it mean now as a parent?
Competition, pressure. Those are the two main words that come into my mind as a parent. It's competition and pressure.
We'll stay out of this one, Sean.
Yeah.
Leave it to the
I
two
don't know.
parents.
Not creative enough. And not enough freedom for creative thinking. That's how I put it.
Interesting. And it's so different, right? Like, in FD's mind, you have at that time was friends first.
Yeah.
But now you're thinking of pressure, you're thinking of competition.
Yeah.
Angel, you're looking at, I just have to do it. School is something I just have to do. If not, I would fail in life. And then now you're thinking, hey, but it's not creative enough. So the disparity is really great, isn't it? It's like, as a child, what they think, and as a parent or as an adult, even for Glenn is enrichment, socializing. What we think as an adult and what children think are so different. So there lies the very first tension between the child and the adult.
I like that.
And guess who
Nicely
are
tied in.
doing? and guess who are doing all the school's education, the structure and everything? Adults.
Right.
Who are also parents
Who are also parents.
most of the time. Yeah.
So
Or
therein
sometimes-
lies the disconnect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That huge disparity. So it's still up to everybody, right? So whoever that's out there on Facebook, just type in and say, what is school actually?
Okay.
Yeah.
right.
What is the purpose of school?
So we want to hear from you. You can either type it in on our Facebook page, which is a live feed right now, or you can WhatsApp us at 88550913.
And we're back.
Yes. In the purpose of school. So I've heard many, right? So when parents come and the kids are stressed, so I usually talk to the parents, right? And then they would say, oh, but it's to prepare them for a job. Oh no.
Is it to prepare them for a job or is it to prepare them for life?
Yeah, lah. I mean, same
It
thing
needs to
like,
be
to
both.
them. I mean, to
It
them,
needs to be
wow,
both,
that's
yeah.
what
you
it is.
see that their life equals to a good job. You see, so when they say, oh, I want my child to be ahead, I want my child to have a head start,
Right.
I mean, yes, they say in life, so they do the very sweeping global sort of words, right? And the concepts, but the whole idea is I just want my child to earn a lot of money and get a good job.
And look after me when I'm older.
Oh, not so much nowadays, yeah. So the modern parents have given up on the children trying to look after.
Pretty much.
Really?
So not so much, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a
Yeah.
modern parent. I told all my kids, when I retire, you look after me.
As they should.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what you got them
absolutely.
for in the first place.
I think as Asian parents, we still have that. We still impart the value that we want the children to look after us.
Yeah.
But it's more that the parents are looking after themselves better, so they're healthier. They're more financially independent. They're not dependent on the children. But what that means is that they're emotionally dependent on the children. So they want the children to come back, have meals with them, things like that. Yeah.
We have someone that texted in that said discipline.
Discipline.
School is discipline.
Well,
They just said discipline.
no, but I do believe that. I think even right the way through to university, it is about teaching you discipline.
And responsibility,
And
I think.
responsibility.
Yeah. Responsibility, discipline, building on your confidence.
Yeah, confidence is so important, right? If
Self-esteem
no
and
confidence,
yeah.
forget it. No matter
Yeah.
how brilliant you are, it's going to be a struggle.
Yeah, you need the confidence to get through life. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Get through school and life.
But the strange thing now is that a lot of times the students come in here with their confidence broken.
Yeah.
So that's why we have this topic, right? The stress in school.
So do you see a
Because
lot
it
of
breaks them.
do you see a lot of the confidence breaking? Sorry to cut you off, but do you see a lot of the confidence breaking from the family life, or is it from school?
It's very integrated because the parents, when the children go into formal education, the parents' focus is on the academic, or on the academic grades. Yeah, and teachers don't make it easy also because teachers have to do their job, but the teachers will feedback and call and chase the parents. So, many times the parents have to be involved. So suddenly like 90% of the time is dedicated to the school or the academics.
But school is more than that, as Joel pointed out in our Facebook page too. He said school is also about learning how to think. So it's not all just academics.
No, the learning how to think part only happens after secondary school. During secondary school, like primary school and secondary school is all about memorizing.
Yeah, that is true as well. Memorizing, yeah. You're not encouraged to think for yourself.
Yeah, you just follow, do, make sure you get the grades.
I feel school should teach kids and even adults how to be self-starters. How to have initiative to do stuff, to say
Agreed.
something, to
Agreed.
learn, to think, as we always say, we always use this term, think outside the box. To think beyond what you're taught. But Shaun is right though. I mean, in school, all it was memorizing. Remember this formula, remember this history lesson, remember this English, how you use your verbs, your
Jerry, my kids have been out of school for a while. Is that still the structure of school? That whole memorizing and then just regurgitating at an exam?
Well, they try not to, at least for the primary school, they try not to. But if we think about it, many of us, if we don't remember the fundamentals or the basics or the formula, how are we going to do anything else? How are we going to apply? So you do need to memorize your ABCs in your 1, 2, 3. So we cannot run away from memorizing. So although we make such a big deal of it, right, we still need to utilize that part of the brain where we put it into long-term memory bank.
So it becomes second nature. It's no longer a memorizing lesson as such.
No,
It becomes
no.
a part of life, right?
Correct.
And ingrained.
Correct. Yeah, so it's like those that can pull out, the different formulas and then apply it anywhere. Like the engineers, those are spectacular when they can apply it anywhere.
But isn't that also a problem, Jerry, that we have to memorize all this stuff, or our children have to memorize all this stuff, but are they really taught how to apply it?
Right. Okay. So let's go to the structure of school. So the structure of school, primarily there are 4 different levels: your pre-primary, your primary, your secondary, and your higher learning. Okay. So I wonder what the people think of the different levels.
Okay.
Well, the
Yep.
pre-primary, I feel, is like all about play, but getting you ready to be social. To be able to mix with other children, because then the classes in primary school will be a lot bigger and there'll be a lot more kids, because pre-primary is usually a lot more smaller, right? It's a lot smaller and the schools are smaller as well. So I feel it's like the preparation.
But pre-primary now is no longer about play.
You're talking about kindergarten here, right?
Yeah, kindergarten's about learning Mandarin. It's about learning math. It's about you've already started.
Actually, I knew already. I think my mom knew when I was in kindergarten that I was going to be really poor in Chinese. I think she was told, by some of the teachers, like, your son is absolutely useless when it comes to Mandarin. Not in those words.
What were
though.
you, 5?
I was 5.
Same for me as well.
But it's true because I went on, right? And I never really did well in my second language.
Yeah.
Oh, but if we look at school as an education institution, would that change anything? So if schools are a place to educate, so what do we educate in pre-primary, in primary, in secondary school, and higher learning?
But aren't they institutes of education anyway? I mean, schools are places
To learn.
Yeah, to learn and for teachers to educate us, right?
Yeah,
But people forget that, you see. So, and really, is educate what? What are we educating? What are we focusing on?
Wow, these questions are very tough, Jerry.
No, I think
I feel like now I need to see you,
These questions are very, very relevant because many of the schools have these
KPIs.
They have KPI, not only KPIs. We're here to bring the next generation of children. I tell you what, I'm going to continue this in a while.
Okay, FD sounds anti-school.
I'm not. I'm not.
No drama.
No, I'm not.
When in Rome with The Promise right here on The Big Show, 1FM 91.3. We're also live on thebigshow.tv. So today we're talking about stress in school. Jerry just went into the two sources of basically why kids and parents feel pressure when it comes to school, stress and competition. Also, the structure of school. Could you repeat what you mentioned off the air just now? Sources, the structure of the school.
Glenn is like, I don't like school, but I have to talk about school.
I had a great time in school, quite
I
frankly.
loved it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it.
It was great.
Yeah, but when it comes to the structure of the school, which was what we were talking about, that befuddles you. So the 4 different levels are the pre-primary, the primary, the secondary school, and the higher learning. And what I was asking is really, if we look at it as trying to educate the children, yes, we do look at it as educating the children, but educate, what are we looking to educate? Which aspects?
Well, I think there's so many aspects.
I know.
There's
I
the
can't answer that
academics.
question.
There's the academics. There's the social. There's the social.
I feel there needs to be a balance between the IQ and the EQ.
Yes.
It's not just about what happened in 1942 or how 2 + 2 = 4 and stuff like that, but it's also about, how etiquette to your fellow human being, how to interact with people, how to have social skills. Because that, I feel, is so important these days. A lot of people lack social skills because of the amount of technology that's out there. And our heads are stuck in our phones, and we're constantly on TV, and we're watching. Our heads are in screens all the time, and we don't get a lot of face time with people. So even more so now, kids need to learn social skills. Learn to get out there, play in the open.
But shouldn't the social skills be taught by the family?
They should.
As well.
I mean, technically,
Yeah.
I think both have to go hand in hand. As some academics are also taught at home as well by the parents as well. Say certain use of English or certain use of second language or math or whatever it is. It's an extension of, isn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
Both
It is.
both should work in tandem with each other.
So I'll come to the social part in a little while, but just now you were talking about memorizing.
Yes.
So let's go to the intellectual part. So remember the 5 pillars that I've always spoke about: intellectual, physical, social, emotional, and spiritual. So I'm going to kind of roughly use those. So the first one is the intellectual, right? And we talked about knowledge. Knowledge, you cannot run away. Knowledge, you have to memorize, isn't it? So just now we were talking about A to Z, 1 to 10 or 1 to a million, Yeah, so all that information, whether it's history, science, you need to memorize the basics first. So I'm free for anyone to kind of shoot me down.
No time to shoot you down.
Not going to shoot you down, but apart from the academic knowledge, kids in school should also know general knowledge, news of the world, what's happening in the entire world, what's going on in the newspapers, which they're not discouraged to do, but it's not an encouraged thing in schools to be
Primary
to
school?
know.
But it's also one thing at a time, isn't it, Angel? So, I mean, now if you recall, when we were in school, I guess that was how the Ministry of Education prioritized things. First, we learned to memorize, and along the way, we learned, the different things that you're talking about right now. But as we went along,
I don't really
general
remember being
knowledge and
taught
stuff?
general knowledge.
No,
No,
I
not
think
really?
I think we were definitely
I
taught
think
that.
you had it in secondary school, but my point here is with the intellect, I wonder how many schools have forgotten their mission statement. So many schools say we're here to bring out the next generation of well-rounded people, but you spend so much time on intellect.
That
Do
you
your
forget
students
about
come out well-rounded?
Now,
Yeah.
what's your definition of well-rounded?
You have to be social. You have to be thinking. You have to be intellectually competent. There are many, many different aspects that
Are you well-rounded? Are you a well-rounded person?
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
Yes, I think that
which
he
means,
is a well-rounded
which
person.
means,
It worked.
yeah, which means it worked, right? So why are we
But
complaining?
were you well-rounded as soon as you came out of school?
No, I wasn't.
There you go.
Yeah.
Not now. Now he's
Now
65.
I am.
you know what I
Life
mean?
has
You-
taught me to be well-rounded.
Yeah, life.
We only have 6 years in primary school, no?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah, but a total of what? 20 years in school? What is it? 6 and then
And at
another.
that time, how many people wanted to be taught to be well-rounded? I mean, when you were in primary school, was that even something that was on your mind?
But you're too young to be
Yeah.
knowing that at
You
time.
know, I look at kids these days, right, and they are like little adults. They are nothing like what we were when
because
we were
they're
growing up.
they're so exposed to all the stuff that's on the internet, on the phones, on the TV, and
We're not going to
everything.
give the Ministry of Education any credit for this. We don't know.
about the phones
Right?
and the TVs.
I'm sure
and
they've
the...
improved their curriculum and
I'm sure
and
they
stuff.
have. I'm
It is
sure they
improving.
have.
This is what I'm saying. I'm just trying to be fair here.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
okay.
We're not arguing about what is dished out only in school.
Yes.
We're looking at our perspective towards the learning, especially parents who are so stressed out, and the children who are listening in, on holiday listening in, what is school all about? Because sometimes they forget, and they just think, oh, I just want to do a lot of experiments. That's all I want to do. But they forget in order to do the experiment and to understand how things happen, they need to know the basics. They need to
fundamentals, yeah.
memorize the basics.
Okay, so who are we
Yeah.
kind of looking out for this morning, Jerry? Are we looking out for the parents, or are we looking out for the kids, or are we talking about both here?
More for the parents. Just that some of the kids I do know are listening in.
Okay. I think if parents don't want any stress whatsoever, just don't have kids. Anyway, here's Katrina and the Waves with Walking on Sunshine on The Big Show.
Easy solution. Don't
Easy
have children.
solution, right?
But it is interesting, Jerry, because when we talk about this, we're getting comments like schools make children very knowledgeable. Okay?
Yep.
But what comes with knowledge is a need to acquire comprehension.
Okay. So that's not up to the school. It's up to the student. What you memorize, but if you want a deeper knowledge of what you're memorizing, then you go Google.
You
I
go
mean,
read
everyone
more.
has access to
Internet.
the internet now. Correct.
Interesting. Interesting.
Okay, so
I'm giving you the
let's
comments
go-
that parents are putting up.
Hold that, right? Hold that, because to balance the IQ, it's not EQ yet. To balance the IQ, I need the physical growth. And this is something I want to highlight because a lot of kids, especially the younger population in Singapore, will complain that it's too hot. So they don't want to go for PE.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I go
yeah.
like, you only have PE twice a week. Why are we not going for PE? So then, and parents being parents, we are very, very protective. Yeah. Like my little boy, yesterday he got a shot. Today he say he's pain. So I say, you lie there. Okay. You don't move. You lie there. So guilty as charged, we were very protective, yeah. But for the especially the primary school, the secondary school children, we want to encourage them to move their bodies, to participate in physical activities. So then we talk about well-rounded. One of the things is that if your body isn't healthy, your brain
Your
cannot
mind,
work.
yeah.
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 So that's the other balance that I want to bring in today.
But having said that, Jerry, I just want to point out also that back in the day when I was in school, there were many of my friends who were trying to skip PE classes
Yes,
as
I know.
well.
I was going to
and
say.
I'm sure for the ladies
Yeah.
as well,
Not
So-
many people enjoyed physical education.
It's never been something that everyone, would
involved in.
enjoy and got
Yeah.
involved in.
But
Correct.
that's so strange. In my day, we waited for PE. Everybody literally waited for
Yeah.
PE lesson.
Yeah, I think also it has a lot to do with the teacher as well. Some teachers are, for any subject, some teachers are a lot more fun, and some teachers are real tyrants, and some some teachers are just plain old boring. So I think it depends very much on the educator as well. Why kids look forward to something or don't look forward to something. Some are bullies.
I just wanna play
some are really
football.
nice. There you go.
Anything
'cause you wanted
else
to play
during
games.
PE, I
You
was
don't
not
want-
interested in.
No, I
just
didn't.
wanted to
I
play
didn't.
football.
I didn't like PE because I wasn't good at sports. So I dreaded going for PE.
Nowadays, most schools they have air conditioned halls, so we don't have to exercise outside.
Wow.
No,
Okay.
no sweating. No sweating.
Yeah, otherwise you smell in class. No, so don't want.
Oh, really?
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah. After PE, then nobody wants to smell. Nobody can focus. It's a whole thing, lah.
But isn't that part of growing up, to be hot, sticky, and sweaty?
Right?
And then,
Yeah.
and then go.
I'm with the young ones on this one. I think that's the one drawback to PE in Singapore. We don't have somewhere for the kids to freshen up after PE, and I think that's very important.
I think sweating and getting dirty and mucky is important, but you're right about the freshening up, given time to freshen up after PE. Either that or hold it at the very end of
Yes.
school. The last, not episode. What
Yes.
is it? The last. Clearly, I'm watching too much
Period.
Netflix.
Or just
The
make
last
Friday
period.
a physical day.
Yeah,
Monday to
something
Thursday
like
you
that,
test study,
yeah.
and then Friday is physical.
No,
day.
I have a better idea. Get everyone to come back on a Saturday morning.
Oh, no.
all
let's
the
not
kids,
encourage
all the
it.
kids want to
Saturday
shoot you
morning.
now.
Let's not encourage that. But have it at the end of the day so that they can go straight home and they can shower at home if the school doesn't have facilities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's no fun studying when you're all sticky and sweaty and mucky, especially if you've been running around in the mud
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, I think I want to put it out there because a lot of times parents ask, how can I improve the concentration? How can I improve, their just improve their focus. Yeah. And physical activity, getting them out and moving really helps them. So I'm just going to say it and leave it out there, and how every parent is going to deal with it is going to be different.
Yeah. I think physical activity is so important. When I get up and run or I do like some exercises, my mind feels sharper.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it
Yeah, of
does
course.
help.
Yeah.
So some movement would actually help. So those are the basics. Those are the fundamentals already. Then we can talk about a little bit more the creativity. Only when you've got the basic, then you can top it up and stretch the brain a little bit more and be creative.
Yes.
Have them fantasize. If you've got nothing in your canister to fantasize about, right, in your brain to fantasize about, what are you going to fantasize? What are you going to explore? So you do need that basic first. Then you can tweak
Build
it, you
on
can
it.
play with it, you can create all sorts of things.
I used to fantasize so much. I was in the confessional almost twice a week.
Sunday and Wednesday. Just some midweek.
Oh dear.
Okay, so you spoke about the intellectual and the physical, and then now you're talking about the creative side.
Yes.
Okay.
The
Okay.
creativity. Yeah. Yep. So then, with all that, then we can talk about the higher order learning, the application. If you ever memorize the basic, don't talk about application. There's no way to talk about application. So yes, we want the schools to be, to encourage them to be creative, but we also need the children to understand that memorizing is important also.
You know, one of these
Yeah.
days you should do a session for you know whom? Members of the Ministry of Education
You
who
know,
are probably feeling really stressed out as well.
You know what? I
Educators.
I feel for the people at the Ministry of Education because they not only have to deal with coming up with a system that
Yes.
educates our next
Yes.
generation, they have got to come up with a system that will keep the parents quiet.
Yes.
It is not easy.
And with parents' intervention, it doesn't make their work
Any
easier.
easier.
So when we say Ministry of Education, I just want to say this for the record. We are talking about the educators as well.
Yes.
Whom
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think have a lot of problems of their own.
They do.
There are a lot of
do.
challenges, yeah.
They do.
Okay, we're going back
Yes.
on air.
Stand by one traffic, then you can come back.
Okay.
Good morning, Singapore. Good morning, world. Thank you very much for tuning in to The Big Show and TheBigShow.tv. Every Tuesday, we have our Dr. Geraldine Tan with us from the therapy room. And today we're talking about, school stress.
Yes,
and
we
the
are.
stresses faced by, parents and kids.
Yeah, as well as the educators as well, like we
the
just mentioned,
yeah.
right?
Because they're in
Yes.
such a thankless position.
They are, and I want to send out my love to all the teachers. I've got a family full of educators, and also, lots of friends who are also teachers. So sending out lots of love for them because they are very stressed in this period, and having to do lesson packages for home-based learning, it's horrible. And trying to chase people, they feel like they are loan sharks trying to chase
Yeah.
children for their homework.
They're so
Yeah.
lucky, educators, your family members, they can see you anytime. Right?
No,
Your family members who are
Glenn,
educators,
No, they
who are
can't.
stressed out,
Trying
they can see you
again?
anytime.
They can't. Family work.
Actually, what's the problem? Actually, why can't you see, let's say, a family member who is stressed out?
So we don't. It's just like a
Conflict
a
of
doctor.
interest, right?
Yeah, a doctor doesn't, or a surgeon usually is not recommended to do surgery on his own family member.
Oh, I
because
didn't know
there's
that.
too much emotional investment
Yeah.
in that person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the emotions may cloud that objectivity. So we don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see, but I'm not family.
Okay, I knew that was coming. That was coming. This was a setup.
His birthday, like
You fell for it, Jerry.
No, but it's friends and family. Do you not want to be my friend?
It's
Glenn?
a triple F, friends, family, and
I
fools.
see.
All right. So you spoke about the intellectual, the physical,
creativity. So then we come with the social. So just now we talked so much about, the social aspects and everything. But remember that social aspects also bring competition. So these social aspects nowadays spell competition. And that's what the teens usually bring into session, because it's a high competition with each other. It's what grades do you have, or the other person can do better. I feel very small. So instead of the problem solving skills that we were talking about, and having to think and be nice to each other, we're looking at how we can better the other person.
Does this also, like when I was in school, and I think all of us as well, there wasn't social media and stuff like that. Do you see the stresses of comparing, not just for academics, but for everything else, the things that people have, the material things, stretching on into the homes as well? Because when we left school back then, in our school days, everything stopped. Right, you go back home and you have a sanctuary.
Yeah.
But now kids go back home. It follows them because of social media. It's in their hands, it's in their phones, it's on their screens. So do you find that they're very, very highly stressed from stuff like that as well?
Yep. Brilliant observation. But I wonder whether FD was also going to say that, because he was putting his hand up
No.
very, very long.
He will
I'm
always leave his
sorry,
hand up.
I didn't see your hand.
The thing that when we were in school, yes, we compared results. So Glenn and myself in school. I mean, we weren't. It's a different time frame. But I got 55 for something, and Glenn got 70. I go, wow, you did well. But it never affected me. He did better than me. So what?
Because your mother never cane you.
But now, if Glenn gets 70 and I get 55, I'm a failure.
You're a failure, yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
A
Yeah.
failure to whom? You
Your
mean
parents.
you?
Parents.
Oh, I see.
Not only your parents, and because your parents say, "Why didn't you do it?" I feel like I'm a failure.
That you
Yeah.
are a failure.
You know,
yeah.
my mom used to always say, don't compare yourself
To
to
others.
others.
Yes.
You know, and she was not going to get into that whole rut as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were always very competitive parents. She never wanted to be part of that. And she always told me that I'm not comparing you to any kid, so you don't compare yourself to anyone.
Damn good
That's very
parenting.
good, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess these are parents that recognize, what you can and cannot do and what you need to improve on, right? But the thing is, nowadays, you better be on top. So that's the subtle messaging, even though the parents say, I don't push my children. And in truth, they don't push, but they are high flyers, or they are, doing so well, or they are putting in so much effort. The children don't want to fail them in that way. And the whole society is looking at the other person as a competition. So the whole climate is, we are in competition with each other, which is very tiring. Hi, Julian.
Morning.
Morning.
Hey, Jerry, do you want to buy a used car? Because that's what we'll be talking about today with
Julian is
with
selling.
Julian in a while. But how to pick a
Pick a
second-hand
used
car.
A second-hand car.
I'm very kusong.
So you must listen.
Jerry, it's
Yeah.
fine. Save money. Don't buy a car. Liability.
But
public
think
transport.
what Yes, public transport is really awesome in Singapore. But yes, it's really interesting to listen to your segment.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because
Likewise.
everything
Likewise.
Do you have a last question for Jerry?
What can we do, Jerry, as parents?
Okay,
What can we
final
do?
words.
What can we
I'll
do
just
for our
end
kids?
it first. But, we can always look at the competitions and the perfectionist children another day.
Yeah, we'll do that next week.
Yep. But I will say this. This is a Jerry's original again.
I like that.
A Jerry original.
I say that during my workshops with parents. Space to pace to ace. Space to pace to ace.
Nice one,
I
Jerry.
like
it. Okay.
I like it.
And the message behind it is, only when we are prepared to lose will we win.
Yes.
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 Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Good one, Jerry. I like it.
Yay! I got
Haven't connect there.
I'm thinking like a few other things to say, but we have no time.
No, we have no time.
Actually,
Save it for next week.
it's very early. Right?
Okay, thank you very much, Jerry, for joining us today.
No worries. See
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Have a
Okay.
wonderful
Thank you.
week ahead.
Bye bye.